Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Play On podcast. This is a new series that me and Luke are doing in the off season. We're going to look at all the news which happens each week, and we'll keep you guys updated with the latest news in the GAA world. Luke, the main headline really kind of from this week, obviously, Jack O'Connor re-announced as Kerry Football Manager. What did you make of this appointment?
I suppose it was an interesting one because it was kind of dominating the headlines for the last while when it came quickly apparent that kind of the Kerry County Board were looking to move on from Peter Keane. Yeah, and then there was all the kind of the rumblings of an all-star management team with Sean Stack looking to kind of take over with a backroom team that would have had Seamus Moynihan, Donny Buckley as well. And I think there was a lot of clamour in the county for maybe them to be appointed. But then ultimately, I suppose it's going to be Jack O'Connor taking over with Mike Quirk and Diarmuid Murphy going in there. So, I suppose it's probably not much of a surprise that they went for that way. I think a lot of people might be a little bit disappointed with it, possibly because I think there was a lot of clamour though in the county for that kind of new, exciting kind of proposed kind of management team there. But essentially now Jack O'Connor's going to have his third shot, I suppose, at the thing. Look, he's a proven he's won All Irelands before, and maybe that's probably why I went to him in the end.
Agreed. And as well as that, another interesting point in his appointment is he's brought the Down manager, or the former Down manager now, we should say. He's brought Paddy Talley with him. And I see that as like a direct intention to improve their defence, which did look a bit shaky last year.
Yeah, I do think that is a big kind of thing that needed to be worked on a bit. And you saw what happened against Tyrone in that game, and that is probably a huge addition into that thing. We can probably predict what the style of play is going to be. It'll be a bit more defensive as well, and I suppose they'll just have to rely on that natural kind of talent up there. But I'll be curious how it works out. I suppose Jack kind of had his commitment to Kildare that he seems to kind of moved on from now. So it's. It will be an interesting appointment. I think most people would have predicted he would have been the selected candidate, but at the same time, I do think that it would have been quite interesting to see the other kind of proposed management team if they had been voted through, if how they would have got on, because there was a few very influential figures in Kerry football were rumored to be in the running for that. So. It's a bold kind of decision by the Kerry board considering the other options they had available to them. So we'll just have to see how it pays out.
Do you think that potentially the game has moved on? Because obviously there's a reason that Kerry decided to replace him in 2012. They were knocked out in the All-Ireland quarterfinals by Donegal that year, and then obviously they let him go. You know, he is very successful. His resume speaks for itself. He's won 3 All-Irelands with Kerry, one in 2004, 2006, and then 2009 as well. So, he does have pedigree, but has the game moved on from that? I mean, his most famous really finding of a player, in my opinion, is his move of Kieran Donaghy to full forward in 2006. Donaghy, transformed the position with O'Connor moving him there. But has the game moved on? Like, is he still the manager that he was, in your opinion?
Yeah, look, you got Kildare back to Division 1, I suppose. And I suppose they had a good old kind of crack at Dublin as well in that kind of in Leinster this year. But we'll just have to see how it plays out. I think there's a bit of frustration probably because when the decision was announced, I don't think it was met with kind of acclaim for all across Kerry, because I think they're looking at a situation where it's a manager that's been there twice before. He's already had 2 campaigns, and look, it's probably not going to be the most exciting appointment to have a coach coming back in for a third stint, I suppose. Whether he's kind of suited for the modern game, I think he probably is. I think the people he surrounded himself, like Mike Quirk was doing very well in Laois, he'd be well familiar in that as well. We've already talked with Paddy Talley as well. Look, he's got plenty of people around him that are very, very much knowledgeable in the modern game, and that should be no problem for them going forward. It's just a matter that another kind of management team involved in Donny Buckley could have been probably what's best for Kerry, I thought. But we'll just have to see how it kind of plays out and what sort of impact they have straight away.
Yeah, I think that you're right as well. I think when you remember Jack O'Connor's style of football with Kerry in the 2000s, it was very attack-based. It really allowed players like Colin Cooper to play to their absolute best. And Peter Keane, particularly over the last 2 seasons, was way too focused on the defensive side with a very, very talented attacking team. And I think now with O'Connor, he's such an attack-minded coach. I think that might work for such a talented attacking team. The defensive strategy just was never going to work for Kerry, really. And I think maybe bringing in O'Connor, someone who did get the best out of the very, very talented attackers that Kerry had, I can see why they went that way, to be honest.
Yeah, look, well, but like as we've talked about as well, does the backroom team as well kind of suggest that maybe there might be a bit of a change like that, whether that's adapting to the modern game, that the inclusion kind of Paddy Tally for the defensive work as well will kind of suggest that maybe perhaps that he will be more defensive approach to as well. Like I know with Kildare, there was some good attacking play in it, but they were predominantly, I thought, a defensive enough side as well. So I do think he has evolved a fair bit since then, and definitely kind of the people he surround himself with are absolutely kind of known to be kind of a defensive coach from time to time too. So I think look, I don't think you're going to see the same swashbuckling style of play. I think it's going to be similar enough where you'll have the two Cliffords maybe and Sean O'Shea up as forwards, and then a lot of kind of wing forwards kind of doing a lot of dirty work, I suppose, to in order to facilitate them in the full forward line.
Yeah, well, either way, best of luck to Jack, and I look forward to seeing how that will play out. In other news, Shane Ronayne, who was the Waterford football manager last year, he stepped down recently enough, and then he obviously takes over as Cork Ladies Football Manager. Now, Cork made the semi-final last year. They were beaten by the eventual champions Meath. Shane Ronayne jumping ship from Waterford footballers to the Cork Ladies footballers. Very, very good appointment for Cork, in my opinion, here.
Yeah, look, it definitely seems to be a very good appointment for Cork, and that look, his pedigree itself kind of backs that up, I suppose, that he's plenty of form, particularly in the club game, I suppose, and that's what kind of landed him the Waterford job initially, I suppose, that like most famously when he guided Moran Abbey to the back-to-back All-Ireland Club Toss 2018-2019. So look, he's absolutely got the pedigree for it. He's got a fantastic record, and I think once it became clear that he was stepping down as the Waterford management, I think there was no kind of doubt that he was going to be the man that was going to take over there in Cork.
Yeah, and do you think that he could be the kick for Cork to go on and win the All-Ireland back? Now, obviously, as I said, they made the semi-final. They were beaten by Meath, who were, the best team in the country this year and deserving All-Ireland champions. And now do you think that the appointment of Ronayne could give them that extra step? Because obviously we were saying Dublin look like they're about to enter into a period of transition. Meath, they've won the All-Ireland. We don't know, will they come back as strong next year? So could this be Cork's year if Ronayne gets it right?
Yeah, look, I think, he's got kind of the history now that we've already talked about here now as well. And look, plus he's a native of the county as well. Typical Cork, kind of where they're always looking to kind of point from within and stuff like that as well. So look, I think it's a great fit. Yeah, and I think look, he's well familiar with a lot of the players as well. And look, Cork kind of needed new blood kind of in there, I think, a little bit as well. And they have the panel to contest for All Ireland every single year, really. And look, I'd fully expect them to be right up the top next year, kind of considering this appointment.
Yeah, 100%. And that's another one that I am definitely looking forward to seeing how it turns out. And another interesting one, this kind of surprised me. Ryan McMenamin, who obviously was the Fermanagh senior manager, he stepped down at the end of this year, and now he's very much rumoured to be joining the Cavan senior management team. What do you make of that? I mean, a man who leaves when he was the main manager of the side. You have to remember Fermanagh beat Cavan in the league last year. So, what's your thoughts on that? I mean, he's leaving. He is manager of Fermanagh. He's leaving to become a coach with the Cavan senior management team.
Yeah, look, it is an interesting one. Like, you have to look at certain kind of maybe certain people are kind of like, he's gone to a situation where Mickey Graham is firmly the manager of the team now as well, and that he is going in there as the coach of that team. It'd be a lot more kind of a tactical role as well. Like do have to bear in mind it's two very different kind of roles kind of going into here as well. Some people prefer that, the more kind of hands-on approach in training as well, kind of running sessions and stuff as well. Where and then they can have somebody like Mickey Graham as the man manager and the person that deals with the public and all this sort of stuff. So maybe this is just something he's more comfortable with. He might prefer to do that. Or maybe he just, maybe it was just he felt he couldn't bring Fermanagh any further and felt he had to step down there after the end of this season. So, yeah, that's the thing. In the situation, I suppose, where maybe he felt like he had to step down as well, but didn't want to fully leave kind of the intricate game. Look, it makes sense, I suppose. But yeah, I think it's a good addition to Cavan. It's he's built up a fair bit of experience in the last couple of years now as well at kind of inter-county level. He's done the top jobs in there as well up in Ulster. So yeah, and he's got all of his All-Ireland experience as well. So look, I think it's a great addition for Cavan. I think they're adding them to a very settled management team, and they needed to replace Dermot McCabe, who left his position as selector. And look, they've done that with somebody with a very high-profile candidate.
Yeah, and definitely they're doing that, and they're replacing him with someone who, as you've mentioned, has all that All-Ireland experience. And so he's definitely a good addition. And again, I look forward to seeing how that will turn out. Luke, thanks for doing this with me. This has been Play on GAA, episode 1 of keeping you up to date with the news going on in the off season. We'll come back next week. Until then, take care.